Welcome to a series of netcasts brought to you by Yale University. It's Youth Day here at Yale in the spring, and I'm Ron Vaccaro, joined by David Silberstein. So Youth Day means it's a very busy day for you.
Absolutely. Really busy, and we were just out there. We just wrapped things up. It was a fantastic day. We had an awesome showing from student athletes side in terms of volunteers, and then also a couple hundred youngsters from the community, and everybody enjoyed it, so it was a lot of fun.
You're the chair of the Ford Student Athlete Outreach Committee at Yale. What does that really entail?
Yeah, actually, and I should thank you for putting this together, because every bit of publicity helps in terms of getting volunteers out, and I know from the alumni standpoint and certainly the community, it helps keep people in tune. Basically, I've been working with the group for about 4 years now, and it's the athletic department's outlet for outreach for the student athletes. And as sort of the senior leader, it basically just helped mobilizing people, getting volunteers out there, and really just trying to get out there in these programs, in the schools, and keep them going, because ultimately the most important thing is that they persist in the future. So.
Interesting parallel that I always get a kick out of, that the Youth Day in the spring so often corresponds with the Yale football spring game, because one of my favorite afternoons on a Saturday in the fall is when it's Youth Day here at the Yale Bowl, and you see the bowl just filled with different colors from different students wearing their various town youth jerseys, and they get to run on the bowl and fill the block Y, and then at halftime, if they were a B student or better, they get to go on again, and it's just, I mean, it's an incredible experience. So how much of that, as when you're a Yale football player, do you take note of?
Yeah, it's interesting, because I always say, I wish when I was a kid these resources were available. I mean, it's really a special experience, and oftentimes as a student athlete, you get caught up in the grind of the daily practices and the lifting, and then of course the rigorous academic load, and you forget that you serve as a role model, especially in the community. And when fans show up, particularly youngsters, I mean, it makes their day. I mean, it's incredible for them. And then from our perspective, when we're standing on the field, to look around and see the support that we have is really a special feeling, and it makes it that much better as an experience. So.
Do you get any kids saying, hey, I want to be wearing the Yale uniform next time at the Yale Bowl?
Oh, absolutely. The nice feature that they have is at Yale is the tradition is, people are welcome on the field after the game. And so we interact with the kids, and certainly have that, and you get all kinds of questions, just wide-eyed kids, and I was there one day, so I certainly remember it, and it's sort of the least we can do is to interface with them and engage and kind of welcome them, so it's exciting.
The Ford Outreach Program has been a very well-established pillar of the Yale-New Haven relations in this community for several years now, but I think you've taken it to a few further steps, and the Bulldog Reading Buddies program would be one of those. What is that all about?
Yeah, I think that, I've really taken my role as a student athlete pretty seriously, and one of the things that I learned really quick here is that it's our role to expand our horizons at Yale as student athletes, and the Reading Buddies was started really because of, I hate to use an economics term, but supply and demand. Yale has a supply of incredible volunteer and student athletes who are willing to help, and then there's always a demand in the community for volunteers and mentors, and I had some teachers from some local schools contact me, and we kind of talked about what the best way to structure the program is, and Reading Buddies was started 3 years ago at Clinton Avenue Elementary. The pilot program was just football players, but has since, this was our 3rd year in operation. We had crew members, fencing, lacrosse, so we've expanded and we've diversified, and that's really focusing on improving the reading skills of local youngsters. So.
As a senior now, do you have a favorite experience or two from your 4 years of involvement in the whole thing?
I had a funny story, actually, at the Reading Buddies. We had one of the youngsters come in, and we were talking about what the kids want to do in the future. And I had one of the guys, I'll leave his name out of it, but he said to me, I want to be like Judge Joe Brown. But he said to me, he said, because he was a dropout, he said all my brothers were dropouts, so I probably can't do it. But I said, do you think Judge Joe Brown went to school to become a judge? And he said, no, he doesn't have to go to school to be a judge. I said, you don't want to bet on it, do you? So the next session I brought him a printout of Judge Joe Brown's bio. Sure enough, of course, he had to earn a higher degree to become a judge. And the kid, probably 3 or 4 weeks later, came back to the session and still had it, and he had highlighted the information for me. And it sort of really made an impact, it seemed, on him. And that's really what these programs are all about. If you can reach out to one kid, 100 kids, it doesn't matter. We're kind of making a difference. So that was a funny story. It's always nice when you see somebody learn something from the sessions.
You're gonna miss this when you graduate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm watching the spring game. There's nothing like the stadium and the school and the people around here. I'm definitely going to miss it, but the beauty of Yale is the network of alums and the traditions that persist. So I'll be back.
Excellent. And Yale Athletics will certainly miss you, but I think you've started some programs that are going to have a legacy, so it'll go on.
I hope so. That's the hope, and I'll certainly do everything I can to help them continue. So appreciate it.
Another fine Yale student athlete, that's David Silberstein. Thank you for watching this netcast brought to you by Yale University.